What's good, Canes fan, baby?
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well and getting ready to talk some Canes football and having a good time here. What do you say, Orange and let's see, who do you have so far? Orange and Green Blood, Ray, Joseph Holmes, Byron Lamb. Thank you guys all for joining us. Sean
Sean
Taylor's in the
T's in the
house.
building.
Good evening, everybody, and I know we have to give you a little spiel about please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I know the guys that are on here, I'm sure all have, but like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell, and leave us some comments. It's awesome. Everybody's excited about ACC Media Days going on.
Yeah, hopefully, have you guys seen it? I got Faith, Blaine, Boy, what's going on? Austin Mays, how you guys doing? Hope you guys having a good Thursday evening so far. Gonna jump to some Canes talk. We had ACC Media Day today, and I actually was able to see the whole thing on the ACC network. So Jamar, I bleed orange and green. You already know, baby. Taz, what's up, Taz?
You guys are always the best, man. We got the best junior in the big dog family that anybody could ever hope for.
Yeah, Shanti, Shaq represented us well. Shaq, and I'll tell you what, we got Sammy in here. What's up, Sammy?
I was just
Hurricane Andrew.
I was texting with Sammy back and forth, and Sammy, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, buddy, but we just I had to get a new computer last night last night just to make sure that I was on here for the podcast. My old computer got the blue screen of death. And so last night I went to Best Buy and bought a new computer. So that's the reason, Sammy, I didn't get back to you. I wanted to make sure we had it all set up and got all the kinks worked, but it seems to be working fine.
Yeah, because we're planning on doing some call-in shows, guys. Besides let me just make sure I got everybody. Chris, what's up, Chris? Ramon, what's going on, baby? We're gonna be doing call-in shows, having you guys call in. Special guests, hopefully in the future. But we want to add that dynamic to these chats to be able to get some of you guys calling in and giving us your questions and being able to interact with you guys on the phone. Because me and the big dog were actually talking about this the other day, and to Sammy's credit, he's actually the one that brought it up and kind of opened my eyes to it a little bit. I don't know how many of you guys not watch, but listen to like sports radio, whether it's down at least locally down here in South Florida. It's you got $7.90 a ticket with Brett Romberg, but you have Brett on there and just doesn't feel that there's much Canes talk ever. And then you got 560 and stuff like that, Joe Rose in the morning. You don't have the same dynamic with these radio shows that you used to in years past, where a lot of callers could call in, vent on the game that weekend and give their questions. And so we think that's a good dynamic to have, and it's a good dynamic to bring to this channel to get some calls, especially when the season rolls around. We're going to be doing live call-in shows, maybe like Sundays right after the game, to get some reactions from you guys, see what you guys thought about the game, your frustrations. Hopefully none, because we're going to go undefeated, but just to get your input. And so I think that's something that we're going to add to this channel. So you already know. What's up, Saeed, Thomas, Miles, William Curry,
Andrew, also Hurricane Andrew on here, and Cy Morgan. All you guys, thank you so much for joining us. I do have a quick question already. So for Canes for Life, we wanted to know what we thought about the tackles in the secondary. Little, not horrible news, guys, but little piece of bad news. Bubba Bolden is not going to be there as early as we had hoped. So it looks now he won't be there practicing with the team until like the beginning of August. Him and Jalen Phillips both. Obviously, with Jalen Phillips, it didn't matter because he's not going to play this season. But with Bubba Bolden, we wanted him there earlier. But he will be there. I think the first week in August is more or less what Manny Diaz said. But I do want to get to the question about the secondary. Wait, I got a question about the hat. William Curry. William, you can ask the other guy on this show where I got the hat, because this was one of his Father's Day presents. My hat. Because Willie was asking where you got the hat.
I know I got it on on Amazon. Now the third party, I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but when I did get it for the big dog, there was only one left in stock. So I didn't want to give him, just a basic orange hat because he has so many of them. So I like the style, and I figured it was different. But look it up on Amazon, man. You should be able to find it. Hopefully, if they still have it in stock, whatever third party place, sold that. So yeah, check that out.
Yeah, Thomas, Tony Kidd, Terrell James. What do you say, my brother? Everybody on here. If I hope I haven't missed anybody, but I do want to get to the question. Kane for Life wanted to know what we thought about the tackle spots and the secondary. I from with the tackles, I go back and forth. I do feel and I do believe that Zion Nelson's going to be our left tackle. And then DJ Scaife will either be our starting right tackle, or if he is a starting right guard, then you're looking at Kalion Herbert or John Campbell starting at the right tackle. So if it's not Zion Nelson at the left tackle, I do think it'll be DJ Scaife. I don't know, especially starting
Big
against
dog.
Florida.
I think they were referring to the defensive line.
Oh, well, Canes for Life. You were talking about the defensive line.
I'm pretty sure because he mentioned the secondary as well. So I think he was talking about the tackle spots on the defensive line.
On the defense, well, one of the good news is that it does seem that John Ford is ready to go, and he's looking really, really good. I'm thinking the two tackles that get the most time on the defensive side are going to be John Ford and Nesta Silvera, and then Pat Bethel and Chicozy and Aruka from UCLA will get, because we are going to sub freely, especially at the line, because we want to come at the offensive in waves. So I think Chigozi and Pat Bethel will get, figure 35% of the snaps. And then maybe Nesta and John Ford about 50% of the snaps. And then Jordan Miller will be in there also somewhat. In the secondary, yeah, I think it's Trajan Bandy and DJ Ivy at the corners, and Gervin Hall and Amari Carter at the safeties, with Bubba getting a lot of time there at the safeties and Al Blades getting a lot of time at the corners. So yeah. I hope that answers it for you guys. Oh, he didn't. No, he was the offensive tackles.
Yeah, my bad. He actually was talking about the offensive tackles.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to take him at his word. Dan Enos said it very clearly that as Zion Nelson kept working as hard as he'd been working, he was making a case to be the starting left tackle. I have no reason to doubt that. If they feel, put it this way, I would be 100% sure that Zion would start if we were starting the season against Bethune-Cookman or North Carolina even. Against Florida, I don't know if they want to throw him to the fire that quickly at left tackle, in which case then you might see DJ Scaife at the left tackle and then John Campbell or Kalion Herbert at the right tackle. So how's that for answering it there?
That's a good one, man. Dut plug. He said, what do you think Chance Williams will commit to on Saturday? So Chance Williams is making his announcement on noon on Saturday, for those of you that do not know. And yeah, what do you think, Big Dog? Because I feel pretty good about Chance, but I don't feel like 100% sure about Chance.
Yeah, I think you guys remember when I told you that I was positive about Jalen Rivers and I was positive about Tyreek Austin Cave. With Chance, I'm not as positive, but I will say that if Chance doesn't pick Miami, I won't say shocked, but I'll be surprised.
I'll be surprised as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 90% sure that Chance is going to pick Miami on, that's right. It's already Saturday is the 20th.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that it's going to be Chance is going to pick Miami. And probably the next commit, we're probably looking at Daz Worsham in a couple of weeks, I would think.
Yeah, and Isaiah Walker probably dragging it out. I don't see him making a commitment anytime soon. Supposedly it was August early on. Or no, yeah, I think when he first decommitted, we heard rumors about early August for Isaiah Walker making an announcement. but that has seemed to die down a little bit. I have seen a lot of um, action and a lot of tweets back and forth with Isaiah Walker. I forgot who was it that wrote a piece, but they were talking about Jalen Rivers and Isaiah Walker, and then rounding out the offensive line in terms of recruiting. And he liked it. He replied. So, and other Canes fans that add him on Twitter and make certain comments, like he's in the mix. I don't know if he's doing that with other schools, but I do see him interacting a lot with Canes fans on Twitter. So, I mean, that could mean absolutely nothing, and that could mean something. But I mean, we'll see. I stick to what I said about I feel really good about Isaiah Walker, because when he did decommit at the opening and he had that wristband on, and the way the video was made, there was a lot of emphasis on the U on that wristband. So, and between everything that's going on Twitter, I think we do have a really good chance at getting Isaiah Walker. We got some new
I
people in
agree.
here. Mr. HD, Dwayne Baker, the closer. I appreciate it, guys. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button.
Yeah, Terrence,
Um,
thank you. Dorian McClure's back. You mentioned Terrell James, King Millie. You guys, all of you, man, thank you for joining us. And as always, it's all about the you.
Yeah,
Uh,
King Millie said something about Tony, because somebody asked, "How do we think that we're gonna attack Florida? Or how do we think that Enos wants to attack Florida come August
that's
24th?"
really good question.
Yeah,
I think what we're going to do is take advantage of their weaknesses. Um, a lot of people have been placing the emphasis on Jeff Thomas and KJ Osborne and Mark Pope and Hightower going up against their really good corners in CJ Henderson and Marco Wilson. I've been watching. I'm starting to watch a lot of tape on Florida. What I think is going to be Enos's attack is attack them where they're weak. Meaning, I think the tight ends are going to have a huge game against Florida. I think we're going to attack them with the tight ends and the running backs out of the backfield. Obviously, we're going to run the ball, and either spreading them out or doing different things in formation. But I do think that tight ends are going to be key. I think Florida's weakness in the secondaries and the safeties. I'm not impressed with their linebackers either. So I think you're going to see a lot of crossing routes to Will Mallory and Brevin Jordan, getting balls in space and some passes out of the backfield. So I think that's the way we're going to attack their secondary, is going to be their safeties and not their corners.
yeah. I mean, I like the idea of attacking their DBs 100%, but I like the idea of trying to make it as easy as possible for whichever quarterback is going to be out there August 24th. Because, man, it being the first game, it being against Florida, new offense, there's going to be some hiccups. Hopefully not too many of them. So I think pounding the running game and pounding the rock, not too much, obviously. I think we do have to exploit their weaknesses, like you said. But I do think getting that running game going will take some pressure off of the quarterbacks, and I think it'll be big.
Listen, I'm a big believer, and I don't know how many of you guys are fans of boxing or MMA, and you see this a lot in boxing and MMA, that there is a certain machismo thing that the great champions don't have. The guys that have been champions for a long time don't have that. Oh, you want to beat somebody at their game? No, I think the smart thing is you take advantage of your strengths against somebody's weakness. And the closer was mentioning about, was it the closer? Yeah, he was mentioning about UF in the spring game in their middle looked horrible. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I think Dan Enos does that really, really well. And he game plans taking into account his strengths against the defense's weaknesses. So what I expect is you're going to see Brevin Jordan and Will Mallory have big games against those linebackers and safeties. I think you're going to see a lot of passes out of the backfield, and a lot of crossing routes to the tight ends. And I think that's what you're going to see. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean we won't take one deep shot or two deep shots with Jeff Thomas or with, whoever, Mark Pope and the like. But for the most part, I think we're going to eat is going to be using those tight ends and to a lesser extent the running backs out of the backfield in the passing game and then pounding the rock in the running game.
Yeah, I agree. Willis, what's going on? Willis, what's the topic today? It's open, baby. I mean, we're gonna talk a little bit about ACC Media Day and Shaq and KJ and Manny, being up there. So, but basically, it's open. Whatever you guys want to talk about is cool. We got Carl, wholesome one. Thank you for checking in. We really do appreciate it, brother. Carl says, "Hey, what's up, Canes fam? How do you think? Well, vice versa. Basically, what we've been talking about. How do you think that Florida's gonna try to attack defense, being that their offensive line won't be able to block, our front seven?"
Thank you, buddy. I'm sorry, dude. I was actually looking at some of the comments. What was the question again?
By Carl. Carl says vice versa, basically. How do you think that Florida's going to try to attack our defense?
I think what Florida's going to do is they're going to try to use the QB run quite a bit. I think the fact that Felipe Franks, especially towards the second half of the season last year, you saw him running the ball more. Now, Franks, we got to give the devil his due. He is 6'6" and does weigh 245. He's a load to bring down. Not the most athletic runner, definitely not as good of a runner as Bryce Perkins or anything like that, but he is a big dude. He's hard to bring down, and they used him quite a bit in the second half of the season running the ball. I think they're going to use a lot of QB draws. I think even some that are not design runs, but some that if Felipe Franks sees a gap when he drops back to pass, I think he's going to be quick to take off. So I think they're going to attack us with the QB, running the QB. I'm sure they're going to try to make some with DJ Ivy being a first-time starter. I'm sure they're going to try to pick on him early. Also trying to get a mismatch because they have Grimes, who's a really big receiver at 6'5". Obviously, if he's lined up with Trajan, Trajan gives away 8 inches there because he's 5'9" or 5'10". So he gives away a ton of height. So I think they're going to do some of that, but I think they're going to try to run the ball, and I think they're going to try to run it with Felipe Franks quite a bit. Last year, I think you saw a couple of QBs hurt us a little bit on QB runs. So it's going to be important that when we rush them, we maintain our contain. Basically, don't let him break contain. So, we don't want to give him a gap. I think the way that we attack their offense is to keep Felipe Franks in the pocket and make him try to beat you with his arm. Because, frankly, I don't think he can beat our defense with his arm.
I agree.
So we can't give him cheap first downs by running the ball, by breaking contain on our pass rush.
Yeah, and I think being disciplined, and I think our linebackers are going to play an extremely important role in this game. The fact that they're seniors, man, and that experience, I think is going to be big. It's going to be big to be disciplined, and if we just don't allow Franks to beat us with his feet, he's not going to beat us. He's not going to beat us with his arm, Frank. And that's my personal opinion. So I just think, like you said, we got to stay disciplined, man. We just got to stay disciplined.
Yep. I think a couple of guys had some good points. The closer brings up a good point in terms of the matchup with Felipe Franks against our linebackers. Basically, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't use Shaq as a spy. On Felipe, that he'll cover a short zone, but his main responsibility is going to be spying Felipe Franks, taking away that middle run that he loves. Because you see a lot of design QB draws, some design QB runs, and then you also have the ones that he takes off as soon as he sees a gap. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do use Shaq as a spy quite often against Franks.
Yep. We got Jake. What's going on? Jake, Bobby, Calvin. What's going on, Calvin?
Charles Brown, Charlie Clark.
Trying to check in with you
Rigor
guys.
mortis.
We got 34 likes, baby. 73 people in here right now, guys. If you're watching, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Me and the Big Dog would really appreciate it. It'll help out this channel. So, please do that. Share and hit that bell notification. All that good, man. All that good stuff, baby. All that
A
good stuff.
wholesome, yeah, wholesome. That's exactly what I'm thinking, wholesome. That they're going to try to do exactly what UVA did last year, and they did hurt us. Listen, they hurt us with those QB runs, and a lot of times, QB runs in a lot of ways disheartens the defense because the defense feels, especially when they're scramble type of runs, that it sort of wears them out. But I think if we rush them, staying in our rush lanes, and then maybe having a spy. Listen, Felipe Franks is not going to beat us with his arm. And I know that they're really big on their wide receivers. Somehow they're big on their tight ends. Their tight ends don't scare me at all in the least, especially matched up against our safeties. But yeah, I mean, if we need to force Felipe Franks to beat us with his arm. And that's where I think we can get a couple of picks and get that turnover chain going.
All right.
So,
hey, what did you guys think about ACC Media Day? I think we should talk about that before we get any further on into any questions, man. Because I saw that Media Day and hearing Manny talk, KJ went first, and then Shaq, and then Manny, and then man, I just love Manny, and he keeps on proving why he was our first choice after Rick, stepped down and retired. Just hearing him talk, and he keeps on referring to the 80s and to growing up watching the Canes and stuff like that. So, were you able to catch some of it at least, Big Dog?
I did. I read a lot of synopsis is what I did, and I did see part of it. A couple of good buddies. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, thank you for trying to get our subs up, and so we could do super chats. I appreciate that, buddy. And all you guys for your support. I did see, and I did read some of the synopsis of the couple of interesting things I thought with KJ Osborne, talking about the fact that he's mentoring Mark Pope quite a bit. That him and Pope even work out together. They do some extra sprinting together. They work a lot on the jugs machine on their own time. And that Pope has really, he even said that it's in some ways he feels that Pope is looking up to him. And that's understandable. Listen, you got a young man in his second year of college and a guy who's a fifth-year senior in KJ Osborne. And apparently Pope is working really hard. And that's good news to hear.
Well, Manny spoke on it. Manny spoke on it when he was talking about KJ, because he was asked that question directly, because they were asking KJ exactly what made him choose Miami, transferring from Buffalo, and he said there was communication there with Rick and stuff like that, but he said that he was in his hotel room and he was watching the press conference introducing Manny Diaz. And I think he was catching a flight or something, and so he was watching it like on the way to the airport, and he sat down and he just said like man, because KJ knows about obviously the legacy of the U, and he just felt like man, he got it, and he was very inspiring, and KJ was like, yeah, that's where I want to go. And then Manny touched on it, saying that he wanted to bring KJ in for that reason, because he felt that our wide receiver room was very young. And he actually said something along the lines of that KJ will call him like at 8:30, 8 o'clock at night. Hey, coach, can you tell these guys to turn on the lights in the IPF so I could go ahead and hit the jugs? So that sets an example, in the wide receiver room and just in general. And one of the telling things that he said, and it'll give you guys some insight into recruiting and the way that he's recruiting and the message that he's trying to send is, the U's always been known for the talent. Everybody knows that. Everybody, the talent that we have in South Florida and Florida in general is among the best, second to none in the country. But he said you can't just win with talent. You have to win with hard work. So you can sort of see that message, not just in the things that he says, but he's already proving that with just the way that he's recruiting. He's trying to find guys that are busting their butts in the weight room. Just trying to be better and not being afraid of competition. You can't just have a team loaded with talent and have no leadership, which is one of the big things I think that we were missing last year. So Manny wants leaders. Manny wants hard workers, and he alluded to that specifically today in ACC Media Day. And you just keep on listening to him talk, and you just want to run through. Forget a brick wall,
Well,
man. I want to go against a concrete wall for Manny.
there's one that first off want to say hi to Ian Keynes, Lisette Riley. Got a couple of people I hadn't seen the names before, so I want to thank you all for joining us, and please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notifications bell. I want to bring up a point, and I don't think this gets talked about enough. And I know I'm sorry that this is going to leave part of you out of it, because this is going back to old school Canes. They asked Troy Aikman, and for those of you that don't know, when Michael Irvin was in the NFL, he had some brushes with the law. He had some drug issues and the like. But they asked Troy Aikman one time that who was his hardest working teammate, and he said, without a doubt, it was Michael Irvin, bar none. He said Michael Irvin was the leader of those Cowboys that won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. He was the hardest working guy. And they would, a lot of the teammates, because at that time, Michael was going through some of his personal issues and fighting some personal demons. But they would say Michael would stay up all night and still be the first guy at practice. Okay. Would be without work. Everybody would be drenched in sweat. And they were looking around and saying, man, does this guy ever get tired? And then he'd work after practice. And I think the when you look at the Canes from the 80s and even from the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s, the thing that people talk about is talent and the swag. The thing that doesn't get mentioned enough is that the practices at Green Tree were legendary. That these guys would be working their butts off against each other, that it was a competition. You all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that it was a competition every drill, every single rep. It was guys trash talking, guys trying to beat each other, and but they worked so hard that when Saturdays came, that was fun time. And people, guys like Michael Irvin, guys like Ed Reed, guys like Ray Lewis, those type of guys, I'm not saying they didn't have God-given ability. They did. But they didn't make it to the Hall of Fame on God-given ability. They were the hardest working guys on their teams. And that's the type of thing that Manny's trying to reinstill is, that swag is earned, and it's earned by sweat in the weight room, on the practice field, and when nobody's watching. And that's a really important thing. And he gets that. And I know all coaches talk about hard work. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about working, competing as a way of life, and not just what you do in practice. Every drill, one of the things that Manny does in the weight room with David Feely, everything's a competition. Every lift, you're competing against somebody. Those type of things is instilled in the guys where they're working hard every day. And then Saturdays, that's your fun day. Because nobody's gonna go at you as hard as your own team's going at you during the week.
Yeah.
And that's something that people don't ever talk about Miami. And it's funny because people say, well, they talk about hard work everywhere. What does Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, you name it, Warren Sapp, I'll give you a perfect example. One of the reasons why Warren Sapp didn't like Keyshawn Johnson, you know why? Because when they got Keyshawn, he said, oh, man, that's awesome. Come down here in Florida and let's get an extra work. And Keyshawn wasn't about the extra work. So that's why Warren Sapp, he doesn't even talk to Keyshawn because of that friction. Because Warren Sapp was like, no, come down. You can stay at my house and put in some extra reps with our QBs. And Keyshawn was like, no, I'll be there when I have to be there. That's what Miami has always done. And that's what Manny's instilling in these guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not a hard worker, Manny's not going to recruit you, no matter how talented you are.
Yeah.
So,
so some of you guys were asking, where can you see the ACC Media Day? I wasn't able to find it on YouTube. I know some of you guys have been looking for it on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube soon enough, but I was able to see it. I actually have the Sling app, and so I was able to see it through there. If you go on theacc.com and if you pull up Watch ESPN, you might be able to see it. But if not, if you do have the ACC digital network, you could catch it on there. For some reason, I couldn't fast forward to the Canes part, so you might have to get through the first part, which is actually Duke, and then after Duke, the Canes will go ahead and Sean Taylor says ESPNU. So maybe you guys could catch it for those of you that have ESPNU. You go ahead
Raymond
and
was saying on the
okay.
also want to shout out to Gerson, Sammy, Ben Pratt, Mo Betta.
Thank you guys for joining us. A lot of new faces in here. So hopefully,
man.
if you guys are not subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We appreciate you guys for joining us. We're leaving it open to you, whatever you guys want to know about your questions, and we'll go ahead and try to answer them. But thank you guys for joining us. We really do appreciate it.
Willis was making up about talking about the depth at the safety position. Yeah, I know. I don't think I think we're pretty universal that we don't want to see but about Robert Knowles. But I will say this. From what my understanding, Bubba will be there. Bubba Bolden will be there in the first week of August. I don't know how up to speed he's going to be come the Florida game. So it might take him a little while to get acclimated and really know our defense. I'm thinking that when the games come, we're going to have until Bubba is ready. It's definitely going to be Amari Carter and Gervin Hall starting at the safeties, and I'm thinking Derek Smith will be our third safety. And we even have the option of playing Romeo Finley back there, and then Gilbert Frierson coming in at the striker. Mm-hmm. So you're right, though, Sean. We do need Bolden for sure, and I was hoping he would have been there already, but he looks like he will be there the first week of August.
Yeah. So, Came for Life says, well, Charlie wants to talk about special teams. Is that I don't know? Is that Charlie, a question specifically, or
he put it in capital letters, and I think it's the second time he put it. And Charlie, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. That's one of the reasons why when I talk about the return man, and people are like, well, you got to be careful with Lingard, and we don't want to get JT4 hurt on punt returns. Listen, I'm a believer that you put your best athletes on kickoff returns and punt returns because good special teams can win games for you by themselves. So I'd like to see Lingard and Nigel Bethel at kickoff returns and JT4 and DJ Dallas at punt returns. And I do agree with a lot of you guys feel that Mark Pope should get some shots in there. And I agree. Put Pope in there also.
Someone says, do y'all agree with me that having a healthy Trayvon Hill towards the end of the season is better than forcing him to play higher reps when he isn't healthy the first half of the season?
100% also. 100.
If there's any, go ahead.
No, but some people might not know what's going on with Trayvon Hill. Apparently, he had shoulder surgery last year or towards the end of last year, I believe. And so he's not quite 100% yet. And listen, we got depth at defensive end. So basically, if Trayvon's not ready, we're going to have to go with Jonathan Garvin, Gregory Rousseau, Scott Patchen, and Jafari Harvey. Mm-hmm. That's not a bad consolation prize. But I agree with you, Wholesome, that until he's 100% or at least close to 100%, we shouldn't let him out there. At least not snaps. Yeah. Maybe getting some snaps here and there. But apparently he's still rehabbing that shoulder injury. That's the other piece of news that I had for people I forgot to mention. But apparently they think he's going to be 100% soon enough. So I don't think it's something that's going to linger. But he might not be 100% come August 24th. So prepare yourselves for that we might not see a lot of Trayvon Hill early.
at the end of the day, I understand. Obviously, August 24th is a huge game, one of the biggest games of the season. So I'm not downplaying August 24th at all. But the second half of the season is going to be big, and I think making sure that we do have a healthy Trayvon, for the second half of the year. I think he's going to be back obviously before that, but having a healthy Trayvon Hill, especially not assuming, especially after we win the Coastal, and I want to have a healthy Trayvon Hill for Clemson.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
Absolutely.
but I think our depth at the defensive end, it's there. So I don't think he's somebody that we necessarily need to rush back, and we could just sit back and wait until he's fully healthy, man.
I want to say shout out to yeah, Charlie. I just saw that. Absolutely. Charlie was mentioning. Remember Brock Berlin's game against Florida. Devin Hester won that game on returns.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Carlos Thurman. First off, shout out to you, Carlos. If you've been with us before, I'm sorry, buddy, I didn't remember. But thank you so much for joining us now. He says something that's true, that now we have more true receivers. Because Lawrence Cager and Darrell Langham were jump ball guys, were like jump ball specialists because how tall they were.
But 2 games, Langham, man, that game against obviously the FSU one, but then the Georgia Tech one in the rain, that was a crazy catch. It's good to have at least one of those guys.
No, absolutely. And listen, we got Hightower 6'3", D Wiggins is 6'3", so it's not like Evidence and Njoku 6'6".
Yeah.
So we have those guys still on the roster, but his point was that we have receivers that can get separation from DBs like Mark Pope, like JT4, like KJ Osborne, even because KJ is a really good route runner and he uses that to get separation. So yeah, you're right, Saeed. That Langham is a legend forever.
Man, that
100%, man. That could have been his only catch in his entire career, and he'd have a spot in our memory forever.
That's one of those catches and one of those endings that me and you, big dog, especially, will never forget because we saw that together here, and man, we just as soon as it happened, we looked at each other like, and then we thought they were gonna take it away from us, obviously, because it was up there and it's the Canes. So whatever. But
Lisette asked a good question. She's asking about Dan Mullen versus Blake Baker. Lisette, I think Blake Baker is a find. First, I'm not talking about other people. I'm going to throw myself under the bus. When we first got Blake, I thought to myself, oh, okay, I get it. Manny brought in his protege because he's going to still run the defense. And then I started seeing Blake the way it was unfolding, and I started saying, oh, wait a second. No, this is going to be Blake Baker's defense. And I think Blake, mind you, now he runs his defense very similar to Manny because, I mean, that is his mentor. That's the guy that he learned a lot from. But Blake, I think, is a little bit better at wrinkles, at really giving more different looks, or uses that more. Now, mind you, the flip side of that is that sometimes when you do that, you also have blown assignments. But I think we match up really well against Florida's offense. I really do. I think if we can stop the Felipe Franks in the running game specifically, they're not going to score very much against us. And so Lisette, I do feel really good with Blake Baker against Dan Mullen's offense. And I think we have ourselves a winner in Blake Baker. I really do. I think we have a young up-and-coming defensive coordinator who's going to be on everybody's radar in a season or two.
Yeah. I think we got the whole someone asked, what position group are we most sure about?
That's a good question. I mean, obviously, I think the easiest answer would be linebacker to an extent because of Shaq and Pigney.
Yeah, but that's tough. I don't know if you could say linebacker because of our depth at linebacker.
That's the problem. Right. That's the problem. So, I mean, Wholesome, I feel really good about the defensive line, period, because I think we're 5 deep at both the tackle and the defensive end of guys that can be playmakers. So if I have to pick one unit that I feel the most confident about, is going to be the defensive line, because of how deep we are at the tackle and at the ends. So yeah, Terrell, that's the thing. That's the depth. Make it not. It can't be linebackers, because God forbid if we have an injury, now we're looking really thin, and then we're looking at true freshmen getting thrown in there before they're probably ready.
Yeah.
So I pick the defensive line.
Okay. I'll piggyback some off of that. The defensive line, I think, might be, up there as the oh, and Terrell just said it. Yeah, the best unit. Took the words out of my mouth. But I think on the offensive side of the football is what I'm most sure about, to be honest with you. I mean, I think our running backs in particular, with DJ Harris, Lingard, and I know I have to say Robert Burns, but it is what it is. But and also look at our tight ends, look at our wide receivers. I think on the offensive side of the football, if I had to pick one position group that I'm most sure of, I'm going with the tight ends. I'm going with Brevin Jordan, Will Mallory, Michael Irvin. I think they're primed for a huge year. Mallory and Brevin in particular, but don't sleep on Irvin either. Irvin has made some strides, and we saw him in spring make some really good strides. But I think you can't. Everybody's hyped about the defense, rightfully so. Don't get me wrong, but when you look at the depth that we have at wide receiver, and look at the talent that we have at running back, and the talent that we have at tight ends, man, I have to go the offensive side of the football.
I had to laugh there because Sammy says no one's saying the QBs.
Yeah.
Hey, Sammy, here's the thing. And what's up to Richie Fletcher also? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we got the most people we've ever had in here. So for those of you that are new and are watching, if you're enjoying the content, please do subscribe, like, hit that bell. We would really appreciate it. It'll help out me and the big dog quite a bit. So yeah, go ahead, big dog. Talk about quarterbacks.
Yeah, listen, we have 3 super talented, highly ranked guys that are competing for the job. So I have faith. In fact, I think I can't remember where I read this, but somebody had a quote that just in probabilities, just by the probabilities of highly ranked guys being studs, it stands to reason that one of the 3 at least is going to be a super quarterback in between Nkosi, Jaron, and Tate Martell, because of how highly ranked all 3 of them were. So, that's the part that I see. I see Lisette, the question you had about the tight ends. I did earlier talk about that I think they're going to be the key against Florida, because I think the tight ends and the running backs out of the backfield will expose the weakness of Florida safeties and linebackers. So let's see.
Oh, going back to, he said something very, I mean, you could either take it with a grain of salt or put something into it. But Manny said that we have 2 guys that want to be the quarterback at the University of Miami, but we have 1 guy that needs to be the quarterback at the University of Miami. Take that for what it's worth.
I heard his quote a little different, though. I didn't hear it like that, though. Is that the way he said it?
That's exactly the way he said it. He said that we have 2 quarterbacks that want to be the quarterback, and we have 1 quarterback that needs to be the quarterback at the University of Miami. And he also said that he's been in every single meeting, every single quarterback meeting. He's been there, and yeah, he talked about how Enos has progressed, and he said that all 3 quarterbacks that we currently have right now could start. And he also said that he has no idea who that is. So yeah, we have to wait until fall gets rolling. Practice starts next week, guys, on the 26th, if you guys do not know. So we're going to be getting a lot more information very soon. I'm hyped about it. I can't wait, man. We're only 8 days away, baby, from the start of fall camp, fall practice, baby. And we're gonna finally get some more understanding. We've heard Eno say that he wants to bring it down to only 2 quarterbacks and have those 2 fight it out. So I think we're gonna find out fairly soon what two quarterbacks exactly, are sticking their nose out ahead of the other one.
But he also did say exactly what we talked about before. So it's not like I'm calling my own shot or breaking my arm, patting myself on the back. But he did say that with 2 weeks left to go to the game, they're going to have a starting quarterback. So that deadline that I said of August 10th, that they're going to know who the starting quarterback is. Manny did say that because he said that come that 2 week mark to the game, there's going to be one guy taking first team reps.
You have to. The team needs to know, hey, this is the guy that we're gonna roll with.
Correct.
The team can't be. We're not gonna be playing musical chairs like Rick was. I mean, that's not gonna happen. The team needs to know who's gonna be the leader, who's gonna be under center, and who's gonna lead this team to beat Florida and on. So
So that means when we're game planning specifically for Florida, because we're going to spend from August 10th to August 24th game planning specifically for Florida. So those 2 weeks come, we will have a starting quarterback. Now, mind you, he might not be named publicly, but they're going to know it.
I prefer him not to be named publicly. I want to find out who our quarterback is going to be August 24th.
Want to say hey to K Mill, Carrie, Duhart, a couple of new guys there. So I want to say hey and thank you guys for joining us. And please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We'd love to have you. You know, going back to the quarterback situation, I see something in. I'll say this. I have complete faith in Dan Enos and Manny Diaz of picking the right guy. And the thing is, we don't know. We know what we saw in the spring game. We know what we saw at the scrimmage at Travis Powell. We know what the reports were through media availability and the different reports from and then some of the comments from the players themselves. What we don't know is one of the things that I talked about. Come July 26th, okay, which is the first practice, that first QB meeting, Dan Enos is going to grill these guys, all three of them. And these guys better know that playbook backwards, forwards, and sideways. And there better be no hesitation because any hesitation is a wrong answer. So if Dan Enos says to you, what's your key on this play if the defense is in a cover two? You better not hesitate. And you better know what the X is running, what the Y is running, what the Z is running, who's your outlet. You better know all of that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, whoever did not, and listen, the guys that haven't played football won't understand this. The guys that did will. Okay, there's a difference between knowing the plays and knowing the plays until they're second nature. Okay, that means that you didn't just study the playbook. You studied the playbook to an extent that you could do reps in your mind. When you go out one-on-one, when you work out 7-on-7, when you work out with your teammates, you can know that playbook. I'll give you a perfect example. If you guys have never seen Drew Brees warm up before the game, Drew Brees warms up like he pretends that the game is going on, meaning he takes the ball like if he was getting it from the snap or getting in a shotgun, then he'll move around in the pocket and then he'll go through his little progressions of like, okay, this guy, and he pretends like he's running different plays in his head. You need to know whoever that quarterback is that knows the playbook to where the answers come like that. That's the guy who's going to be your starting quarterback. Okay. And I have absolutely 100% faith on Dan Enos and Manny Diaz that if they say this is the guy, that's the guy. Because I did not have that faith last year with Coach Rick, and I'm not gonna pile on with Rick, but I believe that these guys will play the best guy, no matter who makes them comfortable or who they have a rapport with. These guys are going to play the best, the guy who's going to give us the best chance to win. And I have complete faith in them. And knowing that playbook inside and out is going to be a really key component in being the quarterback.
I agree, and I think I forgot who said it, but they said that whoever is gonna run Enos's offense the best will get the starting nod. I agree, but I disagree because I think that there are other factors in play when Manny and Enos are gonna choose a starting quarterback, and when they do choose that quarterback, the offense is gonna be tailored to their skills, and that's what I love, and that's what has me the most excited about Enos. That if it's Tate, there's going to be a lot more shotgun, maybe than there would be if it was Jaron. If it was in Cozy, and Cozy could use his legs. There might be more go routes. He might be launching a lot more, and Cozy has the best arm. So I just feel like whoever is going to be the quarterback, like you said, Big Dog, they're gonna be quizzed, and the playbook is gonna get thrown at them, and they have to know what they're looking at quickly. I mean, there can't be hesitation. So, but once we do get that guy, whoever it is that it may be, Enos is going to tailor his offense to that guy. We're not going to
Oh,
see
absolutely.
we're not going to see situation where Rick was so hard headed. Hey, you have to play it this way. You have to throw that guy. Like even when I think I don't know if it was Malik that said it in the interview with the Orange Bowl boys. He improvised and he hit an open man, but he wasn't supposed to throw it to him. Or I think Rick said in the press conference
Right.
that, and then when he talked about Jaron, that Jaron makes all the right throws, he makes all the good throws, but he needs to make us feel comfortable in starting
Right.
him,
Right.
and
Right.
he needs to know why he's doing what he's doing. Yes, to a
Right.
certain extent, but you need to tailor your offense to the ability of the talent that you have on the field. And we didn't see that with Rick, but we're gonna see that with Enos. So
Right.
regardless of who it is, Tate and Cozy or Jaron, Enos is gonna tailor his offense, and he's gonna have packages for these guys to put them in the best position to succeed.
Oh, look at Lenoris. Thank you, man. Thank you. Wow, we got 120 people here, guys. Thank you guys so much. Please do hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Um, we just we're so indebted to all of you for the support we got. I saw Sean. Sean, that's exactly what I was talking about. You explained it better in your chat than I did. That what he was saying is that Drew Brees will throw to like his first read, and then we'll actually do like a fake motion to his second and third reads. That's what I mean about knowing the offense, and that's the guy who's going to start. Now, I've heard the same reports a lot of people have that, some people say and Cozy's really looks like he's really matured and is working really hard. Then I heard some reports that he works really hard at the structured practices, but not as much as Tate does on his own. And then I've heard, listen, I think all three of them are working hard. It's going to come down to who knows the offense best. And I have faith in Manny and Enos in picking the right guy, and then in Enos tailoring the offense to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to say hi to Captain Trips, Land Found, some new guys here.
Hey, over 100 people,
Demetrius,
baby. Over
all
100
you guys,
people. I know we
man,
have a lot of new faces, guys. If you haven't
awesome.
subscribed, do so, please. We would really appreciate it. It'll really help us out. We're closer to 1,000. We're not crazy close, but we're getting there. We're trying to get there. So without the support from you guys, we wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you guys for joining us. A lot of people in here. Hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that bell, do all that good YouTube stuff
And
to
Lenoris, thank
algorithm
you,
stuff.
buddy. Thank you for reminding us about the likes, buddy.
Yeah, we always forget because we start getting carried away and we forget that we gotta plug that in every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I see some of the comments, and Lisette brings up a good point, and I think to a certain extent, I think we all feel that way, guys. In your comments, correct me if I'm wrong. If it's just me or Lisette and Junior, do you guys all feel confident that whoever Enos and Manny say is the guy at QB, that you guys are ready to roll with him? Are you guys confident in that? Because I really am. And I wasn't that way with Mark Richt. I got to tell you, I wasn't that way with Mark Richt. And I wasn't that way with Mark Richt, even from the standpoint of he once told Malik Rozier that he'll never play quarterback for him, and then wouldn't move off of Rozier. So I didn't have that faith in Rick, but I do now. Do you all feel the same way? Do you guys feel that whoever Manny and Coach Enos say is our guy, we all roll with him, and that's our guy?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they
Yeah.
are, and we couldn't say that last year.
Demetrius says concern is the O-line. I feel you, bud. I do. I feel you. I do think our O-line is going to be much better, and I think Enos is going to scheme the offense to help the O-line, and I do think the O-line has a lot more talent that's been given credit for. I do think that there was some little tension between some of the things that Manny said when he took over and some of the things that Rick has said. If you guys remember, Manny said that the offensive line was suffering from a lack of confidence because they were constantly being told before, talking about Rick's term, that they were the problem. You guys remember when Manny said that in the spring, that the offensive line had been unduly criticized as being the problem when they weren't the problem. Well, that was Manny sort of distancing himself from Rick, because if you remember, Rick a lot of times would defend the quarterbacks and throw the offensive line under the bus. I do think there was some tension there between the two. So I do think the O-line is going to be much better than many people think. And I think Enos is going to help that offensive line with formations and motions and help them quite a bit.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And look, at the end of the day, it's not. I know everybody has their favorite. I mean, I personally don't really have a favorite necessarily. Me and the big dog have always been big fans of Jaron. Ever since high school that we knew he was coming in. So we were always fans of Jaron. We think he's a pro style quarterback. Wherever he aims, he hits. Great accuracy.
Thank you, Sammy.
We were excited about Nkosi, obviously, because he has all the tools, man. He has all the tools. He had a lot of inconsistencies and accuracy issues, but Eno said that besides the playbook and besides all those things, he's working on their mechanics on all three quarterbacks, and we did see what Nkosi could bring to the table in the spring. I mean, I think most of Canes fans are in agreement with me when I say this. Nkosi was the best quarterback in spring.
In the spring, he was, no doubt,
100%. So
can't dispute that.
Yeah, so Tate got better. I mean, he played pretty bad and was pretty inconsistent. But once we saw him in the shotgun in that spring game, not spring game, the scrimmage. What did I say?
The spring game is the one he played really well.
Yeah,
right.
Orlando.
The scrimmage at Travis Paul is the one he struggled.
He played
horrible.
That was bad. That's the one I actually went to. But in Orlando, he was a lot more in the shotgun, and he seemed to excel more in the shotgun. So, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the coaching staff and trusting the coaching staff. And listen, if it's Nkosi, so be it, baby. We're rolling with you. If it's Tate, so be it. If it's Jaron, so be it. With whatever quarterback has that Ewell on the side of their helmet against the Gators on August 24th, that's what we have to root for. And yeah, we can't have any doubts about it.
Wholesome, I will disagree though on terms of, I think Jaron's arm strength is really underrated. I do. I'm not saying he has an arm as strong as Nkosi's arm because he doesn't. But Jaron can make all the throws. So I do think Jaron will throw deep. Now you can make a case because Nkosi has the strongest arm. That could be a bigger part of the game. But listen, as long as you can make all the throws, I'll put it this way: Tom Brady never had a cannon. Peyton Manning never had a cannon. Man, Joe Montana never had a cannon. there's a lot of great QBs that didn't have that cannon arm. Yeah, you could, there's John Elway, there's Marino, there's other guys that did, but there's a lot of quarterbacks that that don't have that cannon arm. Jaren's arm's strong enough to make all the throws, but this is where I think all Canes fan should be. I've said it from the very beginning. The quarterback that I liked the most was Jaren. I've been a Jaren guy since like Junior said, before he even reported back in January of last year. But I did tell Junior this before, and it wasn't even on the show. I said that if he doesn't win the job, I'm off the Jaren train.
Yeah, we both are. Trust me.
I'm off the Jaren train because he got a real opportunity to win it, and if he doesn't win it, then he didn't win it.
But
and if he wants to transfer,
well, yeah.
Peace.
And what do you guys think about this? Because I've been thinking about this actually because we're getting a lot closer to August 24th. I think Jaren is the one that is most likely to transfer if he doesn't win the job. If Nkosi wins it, I think Tate might stay around, but I think Jaren is the one that, I mean, because we've already seen it. He kind of wanted to bounce.
Guys, yeah. If he bounces, he bounces. But there is one thing I do want that people keep forgetting. Jaren Williams rushed for 1,300 yards in high school. He actually rushed for 800 more yards than Nkosi. So this idea that Jaren can't run and can't scramble, that isn't the case at all. Now, that doesn't mean, again, like I said, I don't blind myself. Just because I think Jaren was the guy, Nkosi had by far the better spring.
Yeah,
and
sure.
There's no disputing that. Yeah. Nkosi was solid all three scrimmages, and Nkosi played well. In fact, he's the only quarterback that played well all three scrimmages. So don't get it twisted. I'm not a blind Jaren guy that if Jaren doesn't win the job, he doesn't win the job. And like I said, if he wants to transfer, good luck to you. Yeah. But he was given the opportunity. So if he didn't work hard enough to grab the job, I'm not married to like I said, I've been a UM fan since before Jaren's father was born. So
and guys, I'm not saying that Tate was amazing in Orlando. I'm saying that Tate looked the most comfortable in Orlando compared to I mean, the way he looked in Trash Powell was just it was terrible. I mean, he looked like a chicken with his head cut off, and his passes were in the dirt. And I'm just saying, he played under center a lot more at the scrimmage at the Mecca. In Orlando, he was playing out of the shotgun more. He seemed a lot more comfortable. Remember, Tate is the shorter of the three. He's just not even 6 foot. So, I mean, he has trouble maybe seeing over that line sometimes. And where shotgun, he could see a lot more of the field. And I think that's where he's best, frankly.
I think with Tate, with Tate, it's a feel. Out of the three quarterbacks, he's more of the feel type of quarterback. In terms of, I know he's the most athletic of the three, but I think the shotgun helps him because he's just done it so much that's the place he's more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't even think it's a height issue because really as a QB, you sort of are seeing between the guys anyways. You're never seeing over the guys because even if you're 6'2", most of the guys that play the line are 6'5" and 6'6". You're not going to see over them. So you're seeing around them or you're seeing in between them.
Yeah.
So
no, but like you said, I think that's what it was. I mean, I think he's more comfortable playing out of a shotgun, rolling out and making plays. And frankly, you can make a case that's when he's at his best.
That's a good point, Wholesome, that we do have a good situation that all three are pushing each other. And I'm a believer, iron sharpens iron. So when you have QBs that are, shoot, and trust me, they're doing it because QBs are as competitive as anybody. So they're seeing, man, did you see that throw that Nkosi made? Man, did you see that throw that Jaren made?
Hey, Saeed, I was going to say that after when I made the comment about Jaren possibly transferring if he doesn't win the job. Hey, listen, whoever wants to transfer if they don't win the job, go ahead because Saeed brings up Tyler Van Dyke. I love Tyler Van Dyke.
I do.
And
I do.
the following year, who are we the favorites to land?
Jake Garcia, baby.
Jake Garcia as well. So guys,
Okay.
we have quarterbacks coming in. So we're not going to be hurting if one or even two transfer, frankly. And we still have Payne Matocha as
Well,
well.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm about to say something. I said, you see all these people that all our junior and the big dog family that prayed for me when I went through the appendicitis surgery and all this thing. You want to see them turn on me?
Uh-oh.
You want to see him turn on me?
What are you going to do?
I like Payne Matocha as much as I like Tyler Van Dyke. How's that?
Nah, I'm not there with you.
I know you're not there. Nobody else is there with me.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I like Matocha that a lot more people do because
I do like Jake Garcia better than both.
Yeah, what Jake Garcia is, I mean,
I do like Jake Garcia better than
should be the number one quarterback.
Yeah. Jake Garcia I like better than both, but I'm not selling Payne Matocha short. And I know that first off, people need to know why he was ranked as a 3-star. Okay. Because that whole thing that happened with Matocha's family was displaced by Hurricane Harvey because he's from Houston. Okay. And Matocha did not get a chance to go to the camps. He didn't get a chance to do that whole camp circuit thing. But Payne Matocha is a two-time state champion in the long jump. He's 6'4", and he has a good arm, and he is I'll tell you what, Matocha, I'm not saying now, this is not to say that he's ready to be a starter, even next year. No, I think whoever's a starting QB for us this year will be the starting QB for a couple of years at least, if not 3. Okay, but I do think that Payne Matocha is much, much better than what people give him credit for. And I'll say I like Matocha just as much as I like Tyler Van Dyke.
I don't know. The TVD has a cannon, baby.
I know.
And just seeing him.
No. He doesn't. No. Tyler Van Dyke has a much stronger arm than. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying that. TVD has an cozy arm and then some. So I'm not saying that. I know Tyler Van Dyke has a better arm than Jake Garcia.
Yeah. No, yeah, he has you guys heard him throwing to Darnell. And hey, you'll change your mind if I tell you that maybe Van Dyke could bring us Darnell.
Rigor Mortis says that Jake will be the next Aaron Rodgers. That's who he reminds me of. Really? Yeah, that's who he reminds me of, is Aaron Rodgers. But I don't think Michigan will flip him, Rigger. I think if it wasn't us, it would be Nebraska. But I think he has a great relationship with Dan Enos, and I really think we're the leader in the clubhouse with when it comes to Jake Garcia. Hey, and I think we'll have a good season too.
I'm seeing not a lot, but I'm seeing quite a few comments saying that Martell is just a more athletic Rozier. Come on, guys.
Come on, man. Yeah, there's a reason why. Listen, Tate Martell is the most decorated high school quarterback you can make a case ever. Yeah. And that wasn't the case with Malik Rozier. Okay, let's remember
Malik was like
who it was that we beat out Malik for. We beat out Tennessee State. Who was his offer list? It was like 6 group of 5 and below schools.
It was bad. Let's just say that. I think they gave him 3 stars just to Marcel is Julian Edelman. What was I going to say? Man, I forgot what I was going to say.
Now, mind you, that doesn't mean, like I said, if that doesn't mean he's going to win the job either.
We took him away from Tulane. There you go.
Hey, what did he say, McLovin? He said he's in a class by himself. Yeah, I agree. Thomas Rice, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. Sean Dinga. Some new guys.
Future T, what's going on? Guys, one more time, because me and the Big Dog always forget. For those of you that are watching, if you're new here, please like, subscribe, hit that bell, share, do all that good YouTube stuff. It'll really help me and the Big Dog out. We gotta say that every once in a while, because we have a lot of people coming in and out. So
hey, Thomas Rice says Clinton Portis says hello and he loves you guys. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'll tell you what, I was a huge Clinton Portis fan. Love Mike.
Thomas
He's
Rice
Kane's royalty.
Porter says he loves and he loves. Hey, Clint
That's
Porter.
awesome.
What?
That's
That's crazy.
awesome. Eves, Dickweed. You know, man. Every time I say hello to you, it's I start laughing because I've never called somebody in a nice way Dickweed before.
Yeah.
What do we think of Dwayne Haskins? Wow, that's a good question. Thomas Rice has that question.
I wanted the Dolphins to get him. I think
Yeah,
I think the Dolphins passing up on Haskins at 13. I
I
wasn't a fan
told
of.
Junior
I
and
mean,
I
it turned out well because
right.
I think what they did. They probably had that plan to go ahead and trade with the Cardinals
Yeah,
and get Rosen, but I wanted Haskins. I like
yeah.
Haskins.
What I told Thomas, my exact, and Junior will tell you my exact words to him when we passed on Haskins. And don't get me wrong. Listen, Christian Wilkins, I think is going to be a
Oh yeah,
beast.
yeah.
So I'd like Christian Wilkins, but I told Junior that if we did not have a deal for Josh Rosen, I would not forgive passing on Haskins
Yeah.
because I thought for sure we were going to take Haskins. And then when we took Wilkins, I thought, well, we better have a deal for Rosen. And it turned out, we did have a deal for Rosen.
Yeah.
So, but I think my only concern with Haskins is that if you look at his tape, and I've watched quite a bit of tape on him getting ready for the NFL draft, man, when you make him move his feet, he has slow feet, man. He has really slow feet. And if you get him off his spot and you make him move his feet, Haskins' accuracy goes way down. Now, if you protect him and he has a pocket, the guy can throw the ball with accuracy and timing as well as any quarterback in football.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, seriously. If you look at Haskins, his completion percentage when he was not pressured was like 80%. So, but the thing with Haskins is when he has to move his feet, man, his mechanics go to hell, and he is really immobile. So,
hey, Captain Trips, I think you said you're a Gator fan. Regardless, man, thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And I think you're a Titan fan. Hey, good luck with Tannehill, man. Good luck with that. I'm glad we got rid of him. You have one heck of a backup. I think Mariota's still better than Tannehill. Yes. I think Tannehill could be a great, maybe a wide receiver on some packages, maybe. But as a quarterback, yeah, the Dolphins were trying to play that tune for 7-8 years down here, and he never turned out to be what anything. I mean, not that we thought he was going to be anything spectacular, but I'm glad you got Tannehill and the Dolphins no longer have Tannehill. I'll just say that.
Willis had a good question. Willis, on the cornerbacks in 2020. My problem, Willis, is that from what I'm seeing, let me say this. I think, but apparently I'm the only one that thinks this, that Jaden Francois could be a tremendous cornerback. Yes, he could be a tremendous safety, but I think he would be a tremendous cornerback, and I don't know why people are not putting him at corner. Everybody's saying he's going to switch to safety and play safety. My problem is right now, then, if that's the case, if Francois plays safety, the only true corner we have is Justin Hodges, because Darren Branch, we're recruiting him to be a striker, and he's already at 6'2", 185. So I thought we were going to go the JUCO route or the transfer portal route, at least for a corner, and we still might. Somebody, I think earlier, had mentioned that Kelvin Joseph from LSU put his name in the transfer portal. I would have felt better if we would have gotten a cornerback in the transfer portal, either a JUCO transfer or graduate transfer. I would like a little bit more experience in the corner. Willis, in terms of 2020 class, I still think we might be looking at Brian George, who is a JUCO transfer. He's a gentleman from Belgrade. We're looking at Marcus Clark, who I think it'll be an in-state battle between us, FSU, and Florida. He's an athlete who plays corner and wide receiver. He's a little raw, but a really good athlete. Is another one that we're looking at for 2020. But Willis, I would have liked to pick up one experienced corner, and I do think we need an actual true corner, another true corner in the 2020 class for sure. So
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Lisa says Perry won the most improved, and Tate is going to
Saeed
get.
Saeed was saying about Francois as a free safety. Listen, I think he's gonna be a stud free safety. Don't get me wrong. The thing is, the to me at least, he can play corner and play it at a very high level. And I don't know why. Now, mind you, I understand that the young man wants to play safety. So, listen, you want to have a malcontent if you put him in a position he doesn't want to play. But I just think that Francois, this idea of him for sure switching to safety or being just a safety, I think it's unfounded. I think he can play corner because the guy on one-on-one coverage, he opens his hips up, good footwork, good technique. He's strong at the point of attack. I think he could play corner, but listen, he could be a stud safety too. So,
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think about having like a touchdown chain? I think I saw that question. So we got people talking about her turnover bracelet. Ha, very funny. No turnover bracelets. I think that's kind of. I don't know if that was meant to be funny. My bad. But I don't know. I like the idea of a chain, like another chain, but just having like a touchdown chain. And I've been saying having TNM grilled out, the new Miami baby, having that as a chain. My only question is when you got the quarterback, throwing it to a wide receiver, or you got the quarterback throwing it to a running back or a tight end, who you're giving it to? I mean, are they sharing time with the chain, or what?
the way I guess you do it to whoever scores a touchdown. Because the way
Yeah.
we've been doing it with the turnover chain is whoever actually gets the turnover. Well, interception, obviously, but it covers it. The guy who recovers it has been getting the chain. So I think that on offense it would be the same. Whoever scores the touchdown would actually get the chain on him.
Yeah.
And Manny has said he's going to do something from the offense. Eves, the Rozier, I'm probably butchering your last name. He has a great question. He says, "Are we more of a 4-3 or a 4-2?" I think 70% of the time, Eves, I think we're going to play a 4-2-5 with that striker role. I think you're going to see that even more. I think you'll see 4-2-5 be our base defense more often than not. Now, I do think we'll play a 4-3 more like a team like Florida. But when we get more in those true spread teams, we'll probably play the 4-2-5 90% of the time. And I love that 4-2-5. I think that's fantastic. I think Romeo Finley, the more you get him on the field, the better it is for us.
That's another thing, man. Like I don't know why people don't talk about Finley that much. Like people talk about our defensive ends and our safeties. And man, I love Romeo Finley, and he's like the perfect player to play that striker role.
K Mill, by the way, says about Ivy that he's going to surprise people. I'm with you. I think Ivy's going to be our Michael Jackson, but maybe even a little bit more of a natural, innate football player. So maybe ending up being even better than Michael Jackson. So I agree with you there, K Mill for sure.
Yeah.
Katie Chris says 4-2-5 also. Yeah, I agree. Guys, listen, if you guys didn't hear about this, Romeo Finley, they, Pro Football Focus, I'm not sure if it was Pro Football Focus or Pro Football Outsiders. I get them mixed up. But they do a breakdown on every single play of every single player. They did a breakdown for Romeo Finley last year. Opposing quarterbacks threw at him 15 times last year, 1-5, right? 15 times. They only completed 5 of the 15, so only a 33% completion percentage. Finley intercepted 2 and broke up 2. Okay, so quarterbacks had a horrible rating whenever they tried to throw at Romeo Finley. Finley is a baller, and I'd like to get him on the field. Listen, it's if I said to you, Zach McLeod or Romeo Finley? Who do you want to see on the field more? It's
Finley, 100%.
So I think you're going to see a 4.25 70% of the time with a striker.
Yeah. Not Kerry Duhar says y'all sleeping on Blaze. Hey, we're not sleeping on Blaze. I think Blaze has all the talent to be that a lockdown corner, frankly. But we heard we see him working. Have you seen? When was the last time you saw a picture of Blaze?
Oh no, he looks fantastic.
Did you saw the picture of what, like, the big linked chain ripped out of his mind?
Yeah.
So
No,
he's been working. He's been working.
No, and listen, the only problem Blades had is putting too much pressure on himself. And that's the only thing that was hurting him a little bit. He was wanting to be so perfect that he was overthinking. And even the coaches said as much. So no, we're not sleeping on Blades, and he's going to play a bunch this year for sure, for sure. And I agree with you, Sean. Yeah, Finley needs more field time. The more we get Romeo Finley on the field. Austin Mays asked about the holdup on Avery Huff. My understanding, it isn't anything important and it isn't anything big, and that he is going to be there come next week when practice starts. So that's all I know, Austin. I haven't heard any more than that about Avery Huff.
Hey, Thomas. All right, Saeed, thank you for joining us, man. Have a good night. We'll see you next week, man. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
If you haven't already, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, share if you can. The big dog would really appreciate it, and you would help out the channel. We're on our road to 1,000, and we're almost there. Big dog, Thomas Rice, I think, has asked us a couple times already. He wants to know about the running backs, like Bryce Love and Jacobs.
I think Jacobs will be the better pro.
I agree with that.
I think Jacobs will be the better pro. I think Jacobs could end up being out of this most recent group of Alabama running backs, he might end up being the best one. Yeah. I think Jacobs is the real deal. Not that I don't think Bryce Love is. I just think Jacobs is more talented. I think he has a higher upside than Love does.
What's going on, Paul? We got Paul in here. Thank you, Paul. We really appreciate it, brother.
What do you say, Paul? K Mill has a good point that we hear Manny talking about Ford. Yeah, we heard that. Fantastic. I think Jonathan Ford is primed to have a big impact for us. I think Ford and Nesta are going to end up getting the most snaps out of our two tackle spots. And then Bethel and Jagosi and Aruka will do the backups to those. I think Ford, listen, man, dude is 6'4", 300 pounds, tremendous first step, tremendous strength, strong at the point of attack. Man, he just has it all. And Shaq was talking about John Ford too. K-Mill, I don't know if you saw that Shaq was talked about him also, that said it's like a light bulb just went off. And Ford realized, wait a second, nobody should be able to block me. And he said from then on, it's been night and day, that he's just been a monster. And I think Ford's going to have a huge year. And I'm so happy that it looks like he's back to healthy and not going to have any restrictions because of that forearm injury that he had. See, how do I like Mo? Was asking, how do we like a Frierson at the backup striker? I think it's a listen. I really like Frierson at corner. I know sometimes his hips aren't what they should be, and so he's probably a better fit at striker, and he's really growing into that role. I think he's probably going to be in the high 190s already, and probably going to end up being 205, 210. Somewhere around there. So I think Frierson was a great pick for striker, and I'm excited. I think he's going to be on the field as much as Finley is on the field this year. Frierson will be on the field next year.
Yeah.
So
who was it that I think Karen mentioned it. I think I forgot to mention it to you, Big Dog, because obviously,
the closer. I'm sorry, buddy. The closer, Jordan Miller, a closer. I haven't forgotten about him. Absolutely, our D tackles goes 5 deep. Jordan Miller will get a bunch of snaps,
Oh
and
yeah.
that young man has that is our strongest player on that team, and that young man has transformed his body, and he deserves a chance to get out there. So absolutely, I see Jordan Miller getting quite a few snaps. I'm sorry, dude. Go ahead.
No, that I think Kerry's the one that mentioned it. That Manny picked out Rousseau especially today at ACC Media Day because I think they asked him about the recruiting in North Carolina, and so he talked about his time at NC State and Mario Williams, and he said that seeing Rousseau in 10th grade reminded him of Manny Lawson in his motor and stuff like
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm sorry. Who was it that he said that about?
Manny Lawson.
No. Who was it that he said
He
that
was
about?
a linebacker. I think he was a linebacker for NC State.
No. I know. No, man. He also was a defensive end, defensive
Yeah,
lineman.
yeah, but
No,
I
but
think
who was the guy he said that about?
about Rousseau.
About who?
Yeah, about Rousseau.
That's right. About my favorite player.
Uh,
By the
I,
way, you can't call him Rousseau. You got to call him Mr. Rousseau.
Mr.
Okay?
Rousseau. Yeah, I don't remember Manny Lawson though, so I can't. I
Yeah, no.
can't.
Manny
I
Lawson's a
can't peg
baller.
that comparison.
Yeah, Manny Lawson's a baller. Yeah. Listen, for you guys that
I
are
think he got.
new to
He
the
was.
show,
Go on, my
Gregory
bad.
Rousseau has been my favorite player since he committed to us.
Yeah.
So, and I know last year obviously it was a washout because of the broken ankle and the surgery, which he's back to 100% about. And guys, don't think that I'm just talking about all the sacks that he had in the spring. That's not why. Uh, Junior caught for me when I started seeing tape of Rousseau. For you guys that don't know, Rousseau in high school played everywhere. Played safety, played blitzed, played wide receiver. I mean, played tight end. He was the best athlete on the field, and he's a guy who was 6'6". Some people say he was even lighter. I guess he reported to Miami at like close to 220, and he's at close to 260 now. But when I saw Rousseau, I couldn't believe he was a 3-star because I saw 5-star talent, and I still see that. And 247 had an article that NFL scouts are already talking about Rousseau could end up being a potential top 5 pick, and gives you an idea what type of a freak of nature he is. So that's I'm joking around with Junior because that's been my favorite Canes guy since he committed to us, and that's my breakout player on defense. Wholesome, yeah. Don't get me wrong, Wholesome. I like Jafari too.
Hey,
Jafari's a
and
stud.
that's why we said what we said about Hill, about not rushing Hill back. I mean, you got Harvey as well. Besides Rousseau and besides Garvin and Patchen, so we have the
Oh,
depth
hey,
there.
we got a member of Canes royalty here, Alonzo 1219.
What's going on, Zoe?
What do you say, Zoe? Man, thank you so much for joining us, Zoe.
Yeah, we appreciate it,
Love
man.
having you on here, buddy.
He says he loves the pillow couch. I was asleep during live chat sitting in that. It looks so damn comfortable.
Yeah, let's see, we got here.
Miller Nessa, Sam Brooks, my God.
Miller, Nesta, and Sam Brooks. Wholesome. For 2020. Okay, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because Sam, I think, is going to need some time to really, he has never played middle linebacker, and that's where they want him. And I think that's going to take him a little bit of time. But I do like Brooks too. I think Brooks has a chance, especially if he stays healthy. And he had the big injury in high school, so I hope he does stay healthy. Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate it, man.
If you guys
Thank you so
haven't,
much.
those of you we appreciate it. So if you guys haven't checked them out already, or you don't know Alonzo 1219,
Yes.
go check them out. Subscribe to the channel and support Canes fam. We're all
Yeah,
a family
guys.
here on YouTube, so check them
I
out.
know that their subscriber base is much bigger, so chances are, if you're here on with us,
Most likely you're already there, but if you're not, go check
if you're
them out.
not, check out Alonzo 1219. Check out the Wholesome One and Miami Hurricanes Time and Miami Hurricanes Talk. That belongs to Paul and Anton. Those are part of Canes family, and they do a great job with content, man. So I know most of you guys are already subscribers to them, but if you're not, check out their channels and subscribe because they put out great content.
100%.
What do we had here? Let's see. Oh, Brad Roy, 3 wide post cross with the same direction and then a drag route. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're going to see JT4 run that drag some. I know Enos likes running that drag and that crossing pattern a lot with the tight ends also, but a lot of times he lines up the tight ends at the slot, so you will see JT4 run that some.
Yeah, we're gonna start wrapping it up, guys. Want to any last questions you want to go ahead and dive into before we go ahead and call it a night? Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Says Thomas Wright saying that we're awesome. And I think he was talking about the Zoe and Wholesome and all these guys too.
Oh yeah,
They are tremendous. Gilbert will show out this year. Adam Nolan, yeah. Willis had the same comment that I had, that Willis liked Gilbert Frierson at corner and even better at striker. And I agree. I think Gilbert Frierson by next year will be every bit as good as Romeo Finley at striker, if not even a scooch better, which is saying a lot because Finley is a baller.
Yeah. Sammy says Naval Donaldson starting at center against Florida. I don't know, man.
No, Sammy.
I'll put Corey Gaynor and I'll have him, be a guard.
I like Corey Gaynor, and I want to keep Navon at guard. I think that's what his future is going to be in the NFL too. Is going to be a guard, and I like Corey Gaynor. I think Gaynor is definitely going to be. I feel right now we have 3 well above average offensive linemen in Navon Donaldson, DJ Scaife, and Corey Gaynor.
Yeah.
Like Ramon Jordan says that, are the Gators trash or garbage?
Pick your poison.
Hey, Ramon, can I add like a third category and say something has to do with the sewer? But no, Battle Tested Kane, thank you, man. We appreciate you guys.
Hey, that's a good point. Sean Dinga says no other school has a blogging fam like I don't know if they do or they don't. You know what I'm saying?
Zoe just brought up a good point. Wheel routes. Absolutely, Zoe. Early on in the show, what I talked about in terms of what I like to see from the offense against Florida is I'd like to see wheel routes, passes in the flat to the running backs. Because the thing is with Florida is we don't need to throw at their cornerbacks because they got, C.J. Henderson and Marco Wilson. But I'd like to see our tight ends take advantage of their safeties and our running backs take advantage of their linebackers. And yeah, I would like to see some wheel routes with whoever, with DJ, with Cam Harris, or with Lingard. So absolutely, I'd like to see some wheel routes.
You beat me to it, Kenny at Chris, because Zoe said, who do you think is going to be a breakout special teams guy? And I was going to go with Nigel Bethel.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think Bethel's a good pick. I think if they let Lingard return kicks, I think he's gonna do that very well.
Yeah, but that's not fair, man. He's a running back.
Yeah, and he was a 5-star running back, so he's not a surprise.
Because I think Nigel Bethel might be. Exclusively he's going to be one of the guys returning kicks. I think Lingard will be back there as well. But I just want to see Nigel with the ball in his hands. Man,
King for life. Thank you so much. He says, "Great show tonight, Junior and the Big Dog."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see. You're right, dude. I like to see Nigel with the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
Listen, people forget how fast. If you guys don't know, look up Nigel Bethel's track time when he was in high school. He was an elite athlete. He is. The only reason Bethel didn't get to play last year was, number one, he reported really light. He reported right at, I think, 160, and he's a 6-footer. So he was really light. And he was a guy that in high school, they used him everywhere. They used him at wide receiver, at corner, returning punts, and running jet sweeps, and because he's such a good athlete. But Nigel Bethel, listen, I think Lingard would take him if Lingard's 100%. I think Lingard would take him.
Lingard's a track guy, man.
Correct, but I think Bethel was a track guy too. He just wasn't as.
Yeah, he wasn't world class track athlete the way Lingard was. Let me rephrase.
Right. But I think that's a good race. I think Bethel will give him a run for his money, and that's why I want to see Lingard and Bethel returning kicks.
That'll be a hell of a race. Wholesome one. Before y'all get out, just want to say it's amazing. Hey, but yeah, man, this is not a competition. We're not trying to outdo any channels. We're not trying to Me and the big dog just trying to do our own thing, but you know, we're always going to be supportive of Kane's family, man.
Hey
And
guys, I want to just to piggyback that. I want to say this, and I'm not gonna, I'm trust me, I'm not just saying this because they're on here. We're the newest channel of like our Canes family, wholesome, Paul, Anton, Zoe. These guys are all guys, man, that help out new channels, help out Canes fam, and they could not have been any nicer to us. And like I said, I know most of you guys that are on here with us have already subscribed to their channels. But if you haven't, take a look at their content. It's great content, and they're really supportive of Kane's family and wholesome. Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You guys have been great to us, and
put out
so
great
thank
content
you.
yourselves, you know. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's all one family, baby, and it's all about this you. You already know. But so yeah, guys. Hey,
Jay Blaze too. I'm sorry, Zoe. I did forget Jay Blaze. Yeah, so I do want to throw that out there too, buddy.
yeah.
Um, what do you say here?
Thank you, Nickel Samuel.
No, Lisette, the 425. We actually were playing that start really of last year with the striker is when we started using last year. So that was a wrinkle that I think Jonathan Packy was actually the one that came up with it, but Manny adopted it, and we played the 425 with a striker a lot last year, and I
Yeah.
think we'll play it even more this year. Terrence, thank you so much, man. 90 for Hurricane mentions D. Wiggins. Yeah, Wiggins is fast. I mean, he had some drops last year, and he is much stronger. He's probably already about 200 pounds, and he's 6'3", so he has that frame. But I'm excited to see D. Wiggins this year. So
I'm excited, man. We have
Game
so
for
much
life.
depth.
Thank you so much, man, for the support.
Yeah, we have we have so much depth at wide receiver. It's crazy. It
Sean,
really.
I'm sorry, dude. I just want to say,
No, you're
Sean,
good.
I was trying to go through the questions real quick. I'm not opposed to Pope. I'd like to see Pope out there some too. At kick returner and punt returner. So let's just say it this way: 3 kick returners, Lingard, Nigel Bethel, and Pope. 3 punt returners, Jeff Thomas, DJ Dallas, and Pope. How's that?
Yeah,
Thank you,
I
Samuel.
dig it. I dig it.
Thank you for the love, man. Thank you, Wholesome.
Yeah, guys. So we're probably gonna, if any last question, maybe that we'll go ahead and throw in here before we get off.
Byron.
But
Yeah. Any last questions? Byron, thank you, buddy.
yeah, thank you,
Thank you so
Byron.
much.
Clavon, what's going on, Clavon? And if you guys are just tuning in, after we go ahead and sign off, or you could do it right now, just you'll be able to catch everything. We've been on since I think 7. Yes, obviously since 7. So we've been on for an hour and a half. So you guys are just tuning in now, catch the whole show. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Me and the big dog would really appreciate it. Race to 1,000 subscribers in such a short period of time, man. We cannot do it without our Canes fam. All the support from you guys, man, has been just astounding. Frankly, neither me or the big dog, I can speak for the both of us because we talk about it when we get off here. The support.
Clavon, I'm sorry, but I just want to Clavon mentioned Hill. Hill is not really hurt. Clavon, he's rehabbing an injury of a surgery that he had at the end of last year on his shoulder, so he's going to be limited early on. So I don't know how limited, but Hill is rehabbing a shoulder injury. But absolutely, piggybacking what Junior said, guys, the support that you all have given us has been more than we deserve, and it's been amazing. And him and I have talked about it so much, and to each other, even when we're not on the air, that we're both in awe that you guys have helped us so much.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Willis, what? I'm sorry, we missed your question about Butch Berry and the offensive line, man.
Thank you, Orange and Green Blood.
Yeah.
Love you guys right back, man.
Austin Mays, when you get your 1,000 sub,
Oh,
can
I'm
we
sorry,
get?
Willis. Yeah, Willis, what was that question, man, that you had about the offensive line?
Let's get
Thank you,
a
Zoe.
100 likes before you hang up. 100. All right,
Thank you,
cool.
Zoe.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, thank you, Will. We appreciate it. Thank you for the support, man. We appreciate it for you tuning in.
Thank
And
you,
yeah,
William, for reminding everybody of hitting the like button. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button before you leave and subscribe.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Austin, you'll get a 3-hour live show. We hit 1,000. How's that?
we got 101 likes, baby.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
hey, no,
Willis, I'm sorry. What was Willis's question?
yeah,
Willis Telemac had a question about the offensive line.
and Bush Berry. I think we missed it, dude.
Willis, if you're still out there, please repeat that question, bud. Will Sky, first time you catching us live, man. Hope it that you'll be here, Mr. HD. Thank you, man.
Which hat, baby? The orange one or the white one? Which one you got on, Will? Austin, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do a celebration for 1,000 subscribers. It's all you guys. Unknown face. Who do you think will
Oh,
be?
Willis, I already answered your question. What I'm saying is, I'm sorry. Let me go back and find the question.
Yeah, I didn't see it, man. If you can, just put it back in here.
Yeah.
I think we missed it.
Yeah, Willis, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't see what the question was. So if you can, just repeat it for us.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you answer before we go.
Sean Denga, is Njoku ever going to see the field? Oof.
Origin Green Blood says he's going to take off of work for our 3-hour special when we hit 1,000.
Hey, we're gonna hold you to it, man.
That's it. You got to. If you want a Origin Green Blood, I'll call in. I tell him I'm your uncle from out of town, and I'll call in for you.
Yeah. Sean Denga says, is Njoku ever going to see the field?
Sean, I think we're going to use them a lot in red zone. I do. I do think we're going to use evidence in red zone, taking advantage of that 6'6" frame. I mean, and mind you, when I say red zone, we could be at the 22-yard line and still use them, on those type of fade patterns and stuff. So I do think we're going to see evidence more than we have, which is not saying a lot because we haven't seen them hardly, but we have so much depth at wide receiver that it's hard to get a lot of snaps for that many guys. But I do think we'll see evidence on those goal line type of situations.
Yeah. Oh, I think he was asking about the offensive line. 904 Hurricane, what's going on? Says that he was asking if Barry would have the offensive line ready and who is starting, which I think I think you talked about in the beginning of the show tonight.
Listen, what I had as starters, I do believe Zion Nelson is ready. Now, I don't know if they'll start him out there against Florida, but if they do, it'd be Zion Nelson and DJ Scaife as the tackles, Navon Donaldson and Cleveland Reed as the guards, and then Corey Gaynor at the center, with Herbert and Campbell backing up at the tackles, backing up at the guards. Traore might even back up at the center because I don't think Tommy Kennedy is ready for any playing time. But then Traore and Zalante Hillary and stuff backing up at the guards.
Yeah.
Oh, McLovin was asking. Oh, that's a good question, McLovin. I'm glad you asked that. A lot of people might not know. Difference between the striker and the viper. Okay. With a striker, ideally what you want is a guy who plays the run like a linebacker. So you want to have a guy that's a good, solid safety type of guy in terms of size, because you do want him to be able to play against the run as a linebacker would, but as a strong side linebacker. But if the teams come out in a spread, then obviously that striker can help you covering the slot guy. Okay. Now, what they want in a viper is a defensive end that sometimes rushes like a defensive end, plays the run like a defensive end, but sometimes in passing situations can drop back and cover, usually a zone, will cover a zone like a linebacker. So that's the difference between a striker and a viper. The viper is basically a defensive end who you can run some zone blitz type of action with, where you can drop him into coverage where he covers a zone, or he can rush as a defensive end or as a stand-up linebacker. So that's why that's the viper. With the striker, it's basically a nickelback who can play the run like a strong side linebacker or cover the slot.
McLovin wants to know, can you have him at the same time? Can you play a viper and a striker at the same time?
Yeah, I guess you can. And what? I wouldn't doubt Blake Baker does that on occasion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. I think you might see Jafari Harvey play the role of a Viper this year. I know we recruited Romulo Height in our 2020 recruiting class to play that Viper role. Trent Harris sort of played that on occasion, even though we didn't call it a Viper then. It was more of a like traditional zone blitz. But I think we'll see that more going forward. I think you might see Jafari Harvey play that this year, and probably next year you'll see if Romulo Height's ready, him doing it, or possibly even Jalen Phillips. But the Viper is something you don't use all the time. The striker, you can use 70% of the snaps, which I think we will.
Yeah.
The Viper, it won't be anywhere near that. It'll be 15, 20% at most.
Yeah.
So,
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and start saying our goodbyes, big dog. Guys, we can't thank you enough. We broke our record for as many people in here at one time.
incredible, guys. Thank you so
Over
much.
100
Austin,
people.
I heard that about Darren Branch. I'm not concerned about Oklahoma. My only concern with Branch is LSU, and I think Branch is going to blow up in terms of
No,
ratings
no.
this year.
He's just saying.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
think
yeah,
he'll get a bump in the rate
yeah. Austin,
in the yeah?
yeah. When they asked me to pick a sleeper in the 2020 class, Darren Branch was my sleeper. I think he's going to explode in the ratings. I think he's probably going to be a 92 or 93, maybe not 93, 92 or so. He'll be a 4-star and a solid 4-star before all is said and done. He said 6'2", 185, and he was my sleeper pick out of the 2020 class.
Yeah.
Lisette, thank you so much, man. Thank you,
Mr.
Lisette, for joining us and for the kind words.
Mr.
That means a lot
HD.
to us.
Thank you, Sean Dinga. We really
Thank you, Mr.
appreciate it.
HG.
Have a good night. Make love in the Canes. He loves us like a fat kid loves cake.
Thank you,
Use up.
McLovin.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. If you guys haven't already, before we sign off, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and share. Hit the notification bell, comment. We're gonna be doing a live stream every single week, and there's gonna be a lot more content to come. We've been doing, but obviously our audience is getting bigger, so we have to keep up with you guys and keep on providing the content on a regular basis. And man, me and the big dog did not expect this turnout tonight. And guys, we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support.
And guys,
And yeah,
I before you sign off, I just want to say, and I don't, whatever. This is heartfelt. The support that we've gotten from you, from our junior and the big dog family, man, it just leaves us speechless. And I just can't tell you, especially like, when I went through the little illness here with the surgery I had a couple weeks back, all the prayers, all the kindness that we received from you guys, man, I'm blown away. And I just want you guys to know that it means the world to us. It really does. So I'm sorry, Junior.
And you guys have put a bar up there. So we want to see 100 and something people next week. So be sure to join us next week on Thursday as well, 7 p.m. for our next live stream. And yeah, hope everyone has a good night, a good rest of your week. Have a safe weekend. God bless. Big dog. And as always,
it's always all about this you. Good night,
always,
guys. Thank
baby.
you.
See you guys.